Okay, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever it is you're located. Thanks for watching. Stressful times, closings, more closings, suspensions, cancellations, postponements, rescheduling. This is stressful. So, not only did I find out that Guatemala is closed, and because go figure, we just got back a week ago. We expected to go back probably this weekend or the next one too, because flights were so inexpensive. It was $60-something, I want to say. And if you had a bag, it ended up being like 122, or was it? No, it was 122, and if you had a bag, it was 160 something. But still, to get to Guatemala, to get to Guatemala City, and then wherever you want to go, for that price is phenomenal, is exceptional. One day I looked at my flight planner, Google Flights, and I noticed all the dates through Easter, through next month, were all the same cost. They were all like 112 was what it was, $112 for round trip. So if you're not taking any bags, or you can't carry it in your carry-on, your personal item, then, it was 160 something, I believe. So I found out they were closed. And right after that, we're thinking about going to Colombia and Medellin. And my girl wants to go to Barranquilla. I haven't. I love Medellin. And I love Guatemala, especially Antigua and Guatemala City and Lake Atitlan. I really wanted to go, and because it was so inexpensive, we figured we could scoot through and come back. But since then, things are changing exponentially daily. So, I guess it started on big time where we knew this was really serious was when the NBA canceled a game right before it was due to start because one of the players had tested positive. Turns out there was 2 on that team, and then there's been multiple other players that pop up after that. So I wanted to take a second to go over a few things that are closed because life as we know it is no longer the same. And for somebody who loves to travel, being told that you cannot travel or you cannot travel to where you want to, or you're suggested that you don't get on a plane, period. Quite frankly, I'm holed up. I'm on the suspect list anyway because I have diabetes, so I don't need this. And after catching the norovirus, almost like food poisoning a few weeks ago in Louisiana, I'm not trying to mess around anymore. But a few things have been canceled or suspended. Let me go over just a few right here. Well, the NBA suspended the entire season. PGA Tour canceled. The Masters postponed. NHL hockey pausing the season. And this is all indefinite because no one knows what's going to happen. And the way it's going right now, this government is not doing what it needs to do. We'll talk about that a little bit later, but they need to just shut this down. Stop dragging all this time. Just get it done. Shut everything down for a month. Be done with it. We move on. We're going along our happy lives. At least it slowed up. We did not increase exponentially as we are right now because we have no idea how many people are infected because we're not testing. We're not testing everybody. People don't have the supplies. And they spin around and try to say who is responsible for what. Anyway, let me get back to my list because I can go on. So baseball delayed the start of the season. Major League Soccer, the season is on hold only after 2 games too. International soccer also has been postponed. NCAA tournament, the basketball tournament for men and women Division I, canceled. You know how big that is too. And even to go back from relating to Houston, the rodeo has been canceled. Now, the rodeo is like a few Super Bowls rolled up into one. The amount of money that it brings to the city, and it's for like 3 weeks long. So imagine Super Bowl rolling around, for 3 weeks. It's a hardship. Tennis, suspending all the tours, the women's as well. Auto racing, opening race for Formula One has been canceled. The NHRA, the Hot Rod, Gator Nationals, the annual event has been canceled. NASCAR postponed 2 weeks. 2 weeks of races. We'll see how that goes too. They were going to do it without anybody in the stands, but we're not sure how it's going to turn out. For music, Coachella, that's a wrap. South by Southwest, that's a wrap. South by Southwest, I've been. It's in Austin. It's massive. It's like the entire downtown has been taken over by music and videos and anything that has to do with the arts, really, but mostly music. You know, it's almost like the rodeo is, but it's all over town. Canceled. Shows. Broadway has been canceled. They say at least until April 12th. But again, everything's going to change and they're going to extend it because it's not going to get any better this soon. I'm not thinking anyway. Tribeca, the film festival, has been postponed. New movie releases have been postponed. The Boston Marathon has been postponed until September. They say 6 months out. White House Easter egg roll has been canceled. You know, I used to be able to go to that when there was no fence around the White House. I can remember that, where you'd go in and, you know, as kids who lived there, you could, you know, I guess be in the same presence as the president. Canceled. Disney resorts, Disneyland, Disney World, all shut down through March, through the end of March is what they say right now, but who's to say? Universal Studios, Orlando, Hollywood, closed through March. City Walk is still open for some reason. They still want to, I mean, some bars still want to stay open and try to recoup some business. But when you think about it, the rent is going to kill you. You'd be better off shutting down. I mean, I don't know. I come from the restaurant industry. I grew up in it. My father owned 6 restaurants. You know, the margin is not as hefty as you may think it is. Let's say you only make $2,000 a week from that location. You paid yourself a salary as the owner, but you only make $2,000 that week. Well, that rent keeps rolling around, whether it's snowing, whether it's flooded, whether there's another sick day, people can't go to work. I mean, it's, you know, when you have to cut the staff, like someone told us over at George R. Brown, next to George R. Brown at Grotto, that they were running on 10% of staff. They'd gone from 2, I think they said they had 2 servers on, went down from 23 servers. And there was no hostess. I said, well, that was a girl up front. He said, that's the manager. She's on salary. So, you know, restaurants are closed. I guess they're trying to stay open as much as they can, but we'll see what they can make doing delivery and takeout. But it is rough. Of course, everybody knows all the conferences are mostly gone. You know, I was getting ready to go to, you know, I was getting ready to ask my boss if I could go. I had priced out everything, flights, and this was about 2 weeks ago. I priced out flights. I had priced out airfare. I priced out Airbnbs for Vegas. It was a nightclub and bar show and the Pizza Expo. They were both at the same time, so I could just run back and forth and just walking. And then I came back and I'm watching the news. You know, I have the TV on while I'm working most of the time down low. And I'm saying, wait. Yeah, no, because these shows, what you do is you meet people, you meet and greet, and you try to build a rapport with them, but you're shaking hands. And yeah, no, can't do it. Okay, cruise ships suspended worldwide. Cruise ships, which I don't get anyway. It's like a flying mall, if you ask me, that you're locked into with expensive drinks. And you can't bring your own. Flights, oh my God, they're cutting. While it's still, I think last I checked, it was $39 to Vegas, $40 to DC, $49 to New York. That's like, from Houston now I'm talking, that's insane. But they're encouraging you not to fly. Or you can't be in a closed area where there's more than 50 people. Some people say 25 people, then some areas say 10. So who's to say? But that is the worst air when you're trapped in there. I definitely wear my mask. And, you know, probably gloves on that flight anyway. And, you know, I'm all prepared anyway. If you've seen my videos, I'm ready. I'm ready to go. Simon Malls, one of the largest malls in the country, closed until further notice. Flights, I know United said their business has dropped off 70% in reservations over the past week and a half. They're cutting flights by 60% in April. Can you believe that? How do they exist? I mean, their margin supposedly is so thin, which I don't get because they rob us as much as they can. International flights are cut by 85%. Wow. Delta says 70%. I just heard this before I started recording. Delta says 70% will be cut. And they said 40 last Friday, so things have changed. It's only been 4 days. International flights will be cut by 80%. 80%. So, you know, it's a rough time out there. So rough, I got to drink a beer. By the way, I'm wearing Colombia colors to represent Colombia. I wore I don't know if it's a jersey, a uniform, or whatever it's called, for soccer for Guatemala last week on my intro. So, and by the way, I am drinking Formosa. Famosa is the U.S. name for Gallo. If you know, same logo, same thing I was drinking in Medellin. I came back and had to find that too. But, so, just to go over a few things. Everything is closing. Everybody's stressing. You know, there's one bright, shining note in Houston. Someone was given, the server was given for the entire staff, I think over $9,000 in tip to Irma's restaurant here in Houston. And they split it. I think the manager said it ended up being like $300 per person, but it's something that they can use. Because here's the thing with the restaurant industry, and if you're a server or bartender, you know this, that you make your money daily. So, you know, if it's the 25th and the rent is due on the 1st, you know you have 5 days. You can work doubles. If you make, you know you're going to make $150 for working a double, or $200 for a double. Then you work that, 5 days straight. You have your $1,000 or whatever your rent is, and you're good. And you can always pick up other shifts too, and you have your little salary too. But just think, they are going to be the first ones hurt and the first ones cut. And hospitality is big. If you think it's not, I'll guarantee you know somebody that works in a restaurant, if you don't yourself, or works in a hotel, cafeteria, in the airport, something that has to do with hospitality, restaurant, in the restaurant industry. So it's hurtful for a lot of people. Personally, I'm lucky enough to work from home. And, I spoke to a few colleagues today, and most of them are working from home too. I think they say maybe 70 from the few people that I spoke to, maybe 70% are working from home. And, those in shipping and production and, the boss is probably still there. But, all it takes is one person to bring it in, then everybody gets sick, and then the whole business is shut down. And, with companies like mine that are purchasing parts from China, China's so interwoven into our purchasing. They're in our supply chain, and they're not leaving anytime soon, because if you need that special transistor or whatever component, chances are it's either coming from them, or the materials are coming from them, or the materials are coming from here and we're shipping it there and they're making it. So they're interwoven into our business fabric. And, someone asked the president earlier today, is he going to do anything about the tariffs? Which, here's one thing, and I'm going to say this on my video, and because I talked to my girl and my friends and so on. China's not paying the tariffs. Understand that, please. This president has a habit of saying, oh, China's paying. China's paying. China's not paying. What happens is when our goods come from China on a container, on a ship, and they land wherever, at the Port of Houston, or they land in California, that shipment is held hostage until we pay the tariff. So right now it's 25%. And it's not on everything. So let's say it comes up to 15% or 10%. Just say 10% to keep it even. So if it's $10,000, you need to pay an extra $1,000 before you can get that shipment. How's China paying for it? China's not paying for it. Maybe we end up ordering less. Maybe we don't. There's a bunch of different industries who purchase from there. I mean, just look around your house right now. Go in your closet. See what America actually makes. It's not like when I was younger and we used to make, the Red Flyer wagon, and, GE was big, and, all these U.S. name companies that were big. We built our own cars. We were proud of it in Detroit. Now look, most of everything that we buy is purchased from outside the country. There are a few places that manufacture products here, in which case we do as well. Part of the product, the actual core technology is built and produced here. But some of the pieces and some of the parts, have to come from there. So, a lot of people are suffering. This is my point. Shut it down. Shut it down. Why doesn't he get it? It's almost like the blind leading the blind over there. I watch the people as he speaks on TV, just behind him, nodding. Yeah. I shut the border there in China. And yeah, people say, people are saying, God, if I hear that one more time, people are saying, people are talking, big, big, beautiful. Oh my God. Here's a new one, a new thought by DC Born Rob. I personally don't want my president to be dumber than me. I know I'm smarter than this person and the people that surround them. And I'm not Republican, Democrat. They're all screwing us over. It's been a week and they haven't passed this bill. They passed a partial today. And then, one guy's holding out and, probably to kick money to a certain area. This is insane. This is insane. Why have they not resolved this issue? Man, I'm going to take a beer. I'm going to take a drink of my beer. What's going to happen? My mom always says, this too shall pass. So, and I do believe that, and I think, what is it, Kim Kardashian? Yeah, I know, whatever. But Kim Kardashian posted a paragraph from Sylvia Browne. If you're not familiar with Sylvia Browne, she was a psychic. She passed away, I think, 9 years ago. She used to be on Montel, if you even know who Montel is. She used to be on her show a lot. But she actually foresaw that in 2020, there was going to be a flu-like epidemic or pandemic that's going to go around the world and affect millions of people, but it'll go away just as quick as it came. So I do believe this too shall pass. And for a traveler and for somebody who's trying to motivate you to travel, I can't get you on the plane right now. So I still have videos from Guatemala that I'm going to post. So I'm still happy. Catherine's still happy. We're all still happy. We're going to travel somehow. Trust me. If it's just walking around the block. But right now I'm homeschooling myself. I'm in. I don't even like getting on the elevator in my building. Let me tell you something. That's the worst. I'm getting to the point where if I hit the button now and somebody's on the elevator, I go, yeah, go ahead. I'll wait. I'll wait till nobody's on it. I don't want to fall into this. And worse than that, I don't want to get sick and then affect Catherine or affect the kids or affect my mom. Thank God my mom's in better health than I am because she doesn't drink beer, but But yes, she's healthier than I am. So take care of yourself. The usual goes wash your hands and so on. And if you saw one of my prior videos I did on the virus that's coming, I did invest in a box of socks. You know what that means if you saw that video, but it turned out to not be a box of socks. It was the filters that I requested. And I've since gotten rid of all of those. I mean, they went boom, 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 boom. And people wanting to buy 1 and 2 and so on. But I sold them I sold a couple of cases. And then a couple of boxes and it was gone. Gave my mom a few, gave Catherine a box for the house and some for me for traveling. And if we travel, as you saw my last video, I do wear it on the plane. And somebody asked me, you wear it the whole flight? Yes, I wear it the whole flight. They said, well, how do you drink it? You got to drink. Well, you do have to lift it up and, sip a little bit and put it right back. And let me tell you something. When you take that and you lift that filter up on an airplane, you smell that air, because when you're in it, you don't know you're in it and you just think that's just the way it is. But when you've been smelling clean air and then you lift that up, you go, oh my God. I'm watching another YouTuber the other day, Chanel, I think is her name. She's a flight attendant. Great YouTube channel, by the way. I think it's Chanel. You can look it up. But she's a flight attendant, and she was talking about, she used to see 2 people get on a flight, and they would be wiping things down like me. And now there's a bunch more, and nobody pays any attention to you. When I first started wearing a mask, 2 or 3, 4 years ago, I thought people were going to look at me like I was crazy, but they don't. And just put it on and you go about your business. People don't. What are they going to say? They know. They just don't have a mask themselves, really. But she went over some of the places that you should wipe down on an airplane. And I thought this was interesting because it's things that I had not thought about. Of course, I heard the dirtiest thing in the airplane was the seatback table. So I always take care of that and then stick that down in that little net down there. But she says the headrest, number one. Number one was the the call button to call them and adjust the air vent. That up there. She said, "That's number one. Wipe that down with your Clorox wipes." And then behind you, the headrest. She said, because people, bend the flaps, they'll lay there and their head will go down and they'll start slobbering all on. And I start thinking, man, I cut my hair. Oh man, I'm okay. So, I don't like germs, so now I know to get in there and wipe that off too. And she said, third, the back of the seat in front of you, because people sneeze and don't cover their mouths. And whether it's the TV or the back of the seat up there and the little knob that pulls down the table, I definitely wipe that off. But now I'll be wiping off the whole thing. And it's just so I don't have to worry if I do accidentally touch something later. But by all means, wash your hands. When I showed my last video of all the things that I pulled out my bag at the beginning of my other video, that is true. And I carry more than that because I have camera stuff that I carry too. But I carry Clorox wipes. I carry hand wipes. I carry saline solution for my nose. I carry the pump for the Neo, whatever it is that helps you breathe. But the saline solution keeps your nose wet. That bottle actually came with a little, like, not Vaseline, but something like Vaseline to keep your nose moist, because when your nose dries up, you're more susceptible to getting, bacteria or germ or something from somebody who coughs or sneezes near you. That's not the place to cough and sneeze right now. But that's all been shut down. We cannot go to Guatemala. It's closed. They banned tourists, people from America coming, and the same for Colombia. And I think Colombia is like locked down where they can't go in or out. I don't know. Somebody tell me if that's true or not. But I'm representing Colombia in this video. And, we're going to get through this. So everybody just hold on. This too shall pass. This too shall pass. So grab a beer, watch it pass. I'm going to post a few more videos from Guatemala. We had a blast. So we did the chocolate museum or whatever it's called. We also did the rum place. And Roger, by the way, Catherine bought you a bottle of that special rum. I'm not a real rum person, but at the airport, I want to go to duty free, and she picked it up. But we cannot go back. But we did a lot, and we saw the processions not only in Guatemala City, which you'll see soon, but also as soon as we got to Antigua. It was pretty incredible to watch it, and it takes time to go around that entire city too. It's a small city, but they're going slow. I mean, they're rocking back and forth and holding up whatever. You'll see the video soon. The little kids are carrying one on their shoulder. I don't know how they don't get the short kids with the tall kids, or the short people with the shorter people with the taller people. Put a whole group of tall people on one and a whole group of small people on the other, because otherwise the tall people are supporting the burden. The short people are going, hey, it's not that bad. Anyway, some more on that video. Ciudad Cayala was beautiful. We love Guatemala City. I love Medellin. Shout out to any of the brothers down there who are watching. If they check out my videos, definitely a shout out to Carlton. Carlton's Travel Adventures. Check him out in Medellin. He's one of the main reasons watching him, why I ended up in Medellin, Colombia. Him and Ace. This is Ace Live. Sly. I watched a few of these guys. And there's a whole community down there where they are surviving and thriving, should I say. And the weather is nice. The medical care is phenomenal down there. I don't think they're going to have the same issues that they do here. I'm not going to rant more on the government here. Again, this too shall pass. So whatever's going to happen is going to happen. Just try to smile and be happy. Life is good. Thank you so much to my subscribers. Kick that bell. Kick that bell right there.
We have a YouTube channel. Like it. Please subscribe and kick the bell.